In at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, a mainly clear sky. Overnight lows will drop down mid to upper 60s. We're back to sunshine and low to mid 90s Thursday. Thursday night, mainly clear and overnight low upper 60s to low 70s. Friday, sunny skies, a high mid 80s north, low 90s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 21 days.
Pressure coming, the Razorbacks dump him back at the 37-yard line. Landon Jackson. Milroe wants to run on third down, but he can't. Again, it's Landon Jackson. Milroe's in trouble. Hogs snow him under. Jackson got there first. Milroe gets it. Pressure coming, and they got him. Landon Jackson comes through again for the Razorbacks.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
You know, one of my favorite players watching back in the day was Jamal Anderson. Was a wide receiver at high school. Transitions to defensive end and just wrecked havoc in the Southeastern Conference. Had a great 2006 season. Ended up being drafted by the Atlanta Falcons and was a guy that just truly could wreck an offensive game plan. You're hoping that's Landon Jackson this year. Maybe he's a potential first or second rounder in this upcoming NFL draft. That was the game that he wrecked Nick Saban's offensive game plan in Tuscaloosa last year. Jalen Milroe was on his butt for a majority of that game, and Landon was a big part of that. And he talked about improving in the offseason, some of the things he had to do. So we'll see if he can take that next step and continue to rise in the rankings for this upcoming NFL draft. Tommy, you're in Branson this morning as we are at the Ballparks of America. It's the Babe Ruth League, right?
Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken. Got both of them. And I'm seated right next to the to where the score's at here at the Ballpark of America, and one of their fields. The neat thing about the Ballpark of America is they have themed playing fields that are after some of the most iconic ballparks in America. So I am near the Chicago field, which is patterned after Wrigley. Just around the corner is the St. Louis field, and there's others. If you've come to Branson for years, it's the old Red Top Mall, as they would call it. This is where you'd come to buy your go to the tool store here, and you get your tool kit that had 150 pieces of socket set for $19.99. They'd have that kind of stuff here, or you could buy fudge, or you can, just clothes cheap, stuff like that. They refurbished this mall when it went out of business and turned it into ballparks. Then they took all the stores and turned those into I wouldn't call them dorm rooms because they're nicer than that. But the kids that are going to play in this international competition stay here at the ballpark. And they've got really nice rooms. Looks like 4, 5, 6 kids stay in a room. So what a neat facility. We'll be telling you more about it. It's here in Branson. There's a team from Belgium they're up. Wow, it's not nighttime for them. They just arrived here. There's a team from Japan. Here. They think it's the middle of the day because it is back home. So there's some people moving around here at the Ballparks of America, and we're glad to be here on ESPN Arkansas.
Yeah, and if you maybe have a Little League store, I think a lot of you played Little League in some way, shape, or form all over the state of Arkansas. Maybe you grew up elsewhere. Maybe the facility that Tommy's describing right now is nowhere near what you played in back in the day. But if you have a fun Little League story, jump in here on the hotline, 877-377-6963.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
We'll be talking with
some of the event
organizers and some of the folks from
the Branson
Convention Center and Visitors Bureau that
does
such a great job. Our buddy Stewart's going to be along later in the show. They do such a great job of getting events like this here to Branson. We'll be talking to all of them coming up this morning.
Hey, we are
brought to you this morning by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They're all over the area, and they're not far from where we're at. In fact, in Boone, Marion, and Baxter County, they have open jobs available for you right now. Also, Benton and Washington counties, you can find a great opportunity with APAC Arcola. Great jobs that include a sign-on bonus, great pay, insurance, retirement, profit sharing, everything you don't have now at your current job. If you're looking for a better situation, they have it for licensed CDL drivers, opportunities for heavy equipment operators, experience in a quarry. You've worked in a quarry, they've got a job available for you as well. Diesel mechanics, if you've got experience paving, asphalt, or working with concrete, they've got a job opportunity for you right now. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Has there anyone on this staff that has had a better last few weeks, last few months than Deke Adams? I would argue no. He has been on a tear lately. Recently, number one player in the state of Oklahoma in the class of 2026, Colton Yarborough, commits to the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's gotten some other good defensive linemen as well. Tavion Wallace is a linebacker, but I know Travis Williams was a big get there. Tommy, it was interesting to hear him discuss. He got asked point blank, okay, Coach Pittman kind of be on the hot seat. How does that affect you? And just kind of recruiting and all that. When we think about coaches on the hot seat, we immediately go to the head coach. But, Tommy, oftentimes there's more pressure added to the assistants to help, again, get this ship right back in the right direction. Part of that is recruiting, of course, not just in high school, but out of the portal, too.
Well, and back to your first point there, they want to win for their coach. I mean, they came to play for this coach. They want to win for this coach and improve his situation. I mean, everybody knows the score, including Sam Pittman. He's dealt with those questions. It's nothing new for him to discuss this. So, yeah, I mean, I think these players, they talked about it at media days, and you hear some more, and it's not going to be the last time they get these questions as well. But I think they want to win and secure a spot for several seasons to come for their head coach. That's got to be a motivating factor, and that's not something that Sam Pittman's going to bring up in a meeting. He's not going to ask players and staff to go the extra mile for him. I think it's one of those rhetorical known facts.
Yep, and it is curious to see what Deke Adams cited was just being honest, being truthful about some things. We'll get into what some of he had to say coming up in just a bit. Tommy, like the wide receiver core, they returned a lot. There's a couple guys that went in the portal like Torian Carter and Anthony Tank Booker. But you look, and Jashad Stewart, no longer on the football team. I know that's one of Miss Lisa's favorite players. But you look at what they return. I mean, it's not what the wide receivers got coming back, and then maybe you could make a case of the tight ends. But this might be the second or third most veteran group on this football team. And it was honestly the strength of your defense last year.
Well, and the defense can't take a step backwards this year for this team to have a chance to win more than 6 games. I believe Bobby Petrino is going to be worth at least a touchdown on this offense, just the organization and the offense itself. But the defense can't take a step backwards, or those close games we've been talking about, those 5 close games don't pan out in your favor still. So very important that is a deep part of your team, and linebacker's not going to be. So you better have some depth up front, and obviously Landon Jackson's part of the strength of that unit. Cam Ball and some veteran players you've had there before.
Love Cam Ball. Great personality. Of anyone that came and came with Coach Pittman last year at his show, Cam was the best. He was fantastic, and hopefully he can. I think he's in year 4 of the program. Eric Gregory, can you believe he's in year 6? Year 6. Not only is he in year 6, he's in year 6 of the same program. That is not typical in today's age of college football, where one kid stays and so one place 6 years. But Coach Adams talked about that. He shared with a few other players as well. We'll give you some updates on the defensive line, what's going on in Branson with Tommy, and some other news, including Jim Harbaugh and Deion Sanders in the headlines once again.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Rob Connor. He's the Director of Operations here at the Ballparks of America. We'll chat with him. They've got, about 60 teams.
Wow.
Between the two tournaments that have come in here. So we'll talk to Rob on the other side of the break and get a lay of the land. As the sun's coming up, we're near the Chicago field at the Ballparks of America in Branson. If you're in town for this event or just in town, come on out and see us. Doesn't cost anything to get in. We'd love to see you and say hi this morning. We're brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 25 locations across our area. If you're thinking about remodeling your home, you're thinking about sprucing up your home or building a brand new home from ground up, Farm Credit can help you with that. Go to any of their 25 locations or go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com for Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
More to get to on the Morning Rush. We'll jump back into some of the coaches and what they said yesterday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Tyler Wilson, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer and need a bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salad. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
First of all, I really don't give a flying flip about what people in Kentucky think. They're like Texas fans to me. Let them rot in hell.
Wade and Adams back deep. Adams with it at the 45. Adams skipping. Adams gets outside. Watch out. Hits the sideline. The Jet. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So we got plenty of discussion surrounding the Arkansas defensive line. You got the first scrimmage today, which I know people are excited. You won't get the chance to see any video or everything. It's closed, but we'll hear about it from Coach Pittman and some players after the fact. We're also going to hear about what's going on in Branson, where Tommy is right now at the Ballparks of America. You said 60 teams at this thing?
There's 59 if you want to get technical. 39 in the 12 and under, and 20 teams in the 13 to 16-year-olds.
Wow.
There's a Cal Ripken and a Babe Ruth. We're going to talk to tournaments going on. We're going to talk to Rob Connor, who's the Director of Operations with Babe Ruth, here in just a second. You know, I was out near Table Rock last night. We got great fishing, whether it's trout fishing or whether it's fishing on the lake. There's some great fishing right nearby, and that's why you need to stop by your local Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and pick up some great stuff made by Pradco in Arkansas, including the Rebel Crick Hopper. I know we're running out of summer for those that got to go back to school soon, but summertime means pond and creek fishing. Nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like the Rebel Crick Hopper. Twitch it, pop it, walk it, swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works in tandem with a great spinning rod and 4 6-pound line. And find it at any of those great places I just mentioned a moment ago. It's the Rebel Crick Hopper, made by Pradco. Mentioned Rob Connors here with us. Rob, good morning. Glad you're up early. It's we're not the only ones up early. We got some folks, it looks like, from Asia that are here. I think that's the team from Japan doing a little workout. There's a little bit of activity going on around here at the Ballparks of America.
I thought it was going to be really quiet out here besides you and I this morning this early, but now they're already getting going.
You see any future Cardinals out there, Rob? Already? I mean, y'all see these kids that get interviewed and then like 10 years later they're in the majors. You see any future Cardinals out there?
There could be a handful or two, that's for sure.
So it's just such a neat event because it's this is an international event. These are kids from all over the world. How many countries are represented in this event that begins today?
So we have between both age groups approximately 20 countries that are represented this year, which is actually a record of the international participation. So we have in the Cal Ripken Major 70 World Series, we have the 39 teams, as you mentioned, 25 U.S. with the balance being the international, and then we have the 20 teams at the 13-16 age group at Show Me, and they actually begin to arrive today. So they're actually staggered by one day. So we'll get them all in here by tonight, and I know tonight we'll be ending probably around 9 o'clock with a drone light show after the home run derby for the 12-year-old 70 kids.
Now, for us old guys, what's a drone light show? I'm assuming it is what it just sounds like, but
that's exactly it. A little light show entertainment up in the sky, and with the zoo next door to us here, the fireworks is not necessarily the best option. So the drone light show gets us a little more entertainment, but it's a lot quieter.
Now, we were telling the audience earlier, and I know you're with Babe Ruth, and how familiar are you? Is Branson something you're pretty familiar with, or?
Yeah, I didn't get the opportunity to be here full time over the years that we've been here, but I've been at some of our other World Series locations. But I'm usually in Branson about 4 times a year now, including the time for the World Series.
Yeah, this is what a lot of folks that have come to Branson for decades, you'd know it as the old Red Top Mall. So if you're wondering where are they at, where's this at? It's right in the middle of town. So you're not far from 76 and all the fun stuff there. You're not far from Silver Dollar City or the water park or the lakes or any of the, whatever brings you to Branson, downtown area. You're minutes away. I came in this morning on what we'd call the Blue Route and turned on Gretna to get here. So if you're coming up for other reasons, you want to come check this out. It's right in the heart of everything.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about Branson. There's so much for the families to do when they're in town. There's so much entertainment, plenty of places to stay with different price points, different amenities, and it makes it really appealing for us to have the World Series here. Because it makes it so much easier for everybody coming to town. Not to mention, our international teams here are able to stay in dorms.
Yeah.
At the Ballparks of America complex. So
That's awesome.
Shortly, we'll have some teams that will be waking up a little bit more than just some of the young kids that are on the field now. And this place will really be hopping by 8, 9 o'clock this morning and going all day.
Yeah, I was noticing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Smack Daddy wants to know. I asked about the Cardinals. Have you seen any potential future Razorbacks too? Smack Daddy wanted to know, Tommy, if you've seen that.
Well, I hadn't yet, but there probably will be over the weekend. I bet if you went through the rosters of the kids that have played in these events and these level events, you're going to find plenty of major leaguers.
Yeah, we just had one of our. I apologize for not knowing his name, but he just got drafted this past month or so in MLB, and he's from Australia. He was actually an Australia-born player, so that played in our World Series back in 2013 when we were in Aberdeen, Maryland.
Oh, that's cool. So, all right, tell us about the event, admission, anything that someone would need to know that's listening that might want to, doesn't have a kid, but might want to come just check this out.
Okay, so come on up to Branson or down to Branson, wherever you're located. We'd love to have you. Ballparks of America is a great host. They have a small gate fee when you come in, but that there is no admission tonight. So you're welcome to come to the park starting around 6 o'clock and grab a good seat or bring a lawn chair, and you'll be able to take in the Home Run Derby, which will take place on the St. Louis field starting at 7 o'clock. That will wrap up at 9 with the drone light show that we talked about, and we should be all done by 9:15. It'll give you a chance to go grab something to eat or some ice cream afterwards here from some of the local shops, and before you maybe take a trek home.
Two things. When you come in and grab a seat, Ty, these aren't just, bleacher seats. These aren't the aluminum seats like would be traditional in the outfield at Chicago. These are chair-back seats.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's probably pretty rare you come to a 12 or 13-year-old baseball game and you get to sit in a chair-back seat.
Brother Rob, you got all these parents listening right now that are like, man, these kids have it. They have it made. These parents have it made. They're not used to these conditions, Rob.
No, it just sometimes begs the question: where was this when we were younger, right? But no.
Well, we were busy drinking out of the water hose.
It's good for you.
But they have it's great. I mean, obviously the families, they're taking off of work and burning maybe extra vacation time as their kids qualified for the World Series this year after winning states or regions, here in the States. And, we're so appreciative of the families that are making whatever sacrifices that they have to in order to come out here and have their kids take part. But on the flip side, we're just hoping that whether they're part of the team that ends up winning it all or a team that's just here, we just hope to build a nice, memorable event and something that they'll have for a lifetime.
Rob, thanks for stopping by this morning, and we're looking forward to getting this event underway later today.
All right, thanks for the invite,
All right,
guys.
Rob Connor, he's the Director of Operations for Babe Ruth, and he is with us here this morning in Branson at the Ballparks of America. Jim just gave me a list of all the teams, and it is a lengthy list and the locations, and we'll look through some of that for maybe the more obscure as we move through the morning. Now, you're probably not going to find action on this weekend's games here at the Ballpark of America at the Bet Saracen app, but hey, with the Olympics and college football going on and all of these things, make sure you got that Bet Saracen app up and going on your phone. It is, 21 days from 3 weeks from today.
Yep.
We'll be having the first Arkansas game, so make sure you get that. It's the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app.
Chuck joins us on the other side as we continue on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Guys, I commend you. You're working at it. Good job. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Area, Brake, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ty, when you start criticizing play callers for their game planning, remember that even the best laid plan, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. I guess next year you're going to have a plan B, man. Every one of these trips you're planning, you're going to have some kind of plan B.
It's an accurate take there. Good news. Again, for those that don't know what Chuck was talking about, our trip to Charleston, where I'm supposed to be right now, was canceled due to Hurricane Debbie, and have tried to figure things out since it did get a refund from the Airbnb as of this morning, guys, $5,700. Now, I just have to figure out how to get that $5,700 from my credit card to my bank account, which hopefully you'll just be able to email them, call them, say, send me a check, but it's probably not going to be that easy, fellas.
Well, you should make your travel mates work just as hard to get their money back from you as Airbnb made it difficult on you.
Yeah, I was quite frustrated. Chuck,
you don't think it'll work?
No, I don't. I'm a nice guy. Chuck, it was very much on my What's Your Beef Wednesday, and I still have a beef. I guess a day later, American Airlines has still not canceled the flight that's supposed to take out of XNA at 12 o'clock today. So I'm going to have to cancel that and then try and get $99 additional back because they're only giving a credit minus $99. So I'm trying to get that full credit amount back. It's way more complicated than I thought it would be, Chuck.
So now when you travel with your bros and you've planned the trip, do you get the best room? Like, do you get the master suite?
No.
At these palatial places you guys hang out.
Because it's not fair when they bring their significant
Life's
others.
not fair, Ty.
Yeah.
You do all the work, you take the best room.
Yeah, I try it with significant others involved. I usually grab the couch when it is the bro trip. Like next weekend, for example, we're in the fantasy capital of the world, Tawny Town, Arkansas. I'm going to have this like own little house within this Airbnb compound. So yes, next weekend, yes.
See, Ty, if you will make one of your bro friends' wives sleep on the couch or on an air mattress one weekend while you sleep in the master suite, you'll never have to deal with this again. I mean, you'll never have to be the planner. You'll never have to deal with this again. You're letting them take advantage of you. That's my point.
Yeah, I do that from time to time, but maybe I try your way out, and then we go. We see how that goes from there on out.
He's wanting one of them significant other sisters or friends to take advantage of him, and that still hasn't worked out.
Well, when he's the one on the sleeper sofa, it's probably not going to happen. He's got to get in the master bedroom before something big's going to happen.
That amongst
play
other
calling's
things.
not very good, Chuck.
Well,
as we open the segment, Ty's ability to call plays is a little off.
I hear you. I hear you.
His rhythm of play calling, he just can't get the run and the pass in the right
No Lane
downs.
Kiffin. No Lane Kiffin in the play calling or the other aspect of his life that he seems to enjoy.
I keep hearing about hurry up, no huddle, but I don't really know what that means.
Oh, I go too fast. There's no question about that. There's just there's just nothing else. All righty then.
All right. Well, if you get booted out next weekend, Ty, I can call me. I can fix you up over at the Inn at the Mill. It's not far from Tawny Town. We can get you a big room over there. You can sleep on the couch because there'll be one in the room, or you could sleep in the very comfortable beds they have at the Inn at the Mill. They're conveniently located off I-49 near the Johnson exit. I don't know if it's exactly the place you'd want to go to take your fantasy bros to do fantasy football, but, it'd probably work for that as well. Clean, spacious rooms, great internet, which is a must if you're doing a fantasy league, and it's all right there in a clean, comfortable environment with a great staff. I hate when you call these places and you got to press 1 for current reservations, press 2 for new reservations, press 3 for just drives me nuts. They don't have any of that at the end of the mill. They just take care of you when
just
you call.
Jennifer.
479-443. Yeah, Jennifer's awesome. 443-1800. 443-1800 or in at themill.com.
Already got a resolution, guys, from Dr. Tyler. He suggests loading my Venmo account from my credit card, and then I can just disperse it from there. So that seems like a pretty easy resolution. Dalen from Hot Springs on the Couch Conversation says, I know I was calling plays off the couch from time to time, so definitely on that. By the way, JW Tommy says that he's not in Branson this time because he's traveling, but next time he's in town, he'll make sure to swing by and bring us breakfast.
Let me tell you, he swung by when we were at the Social Birdie last time, and we went over there last night, and we played a couple buddies that are with me up here that we're going to go play Ozark National later today after the show. We went over there and played St. Andrews, the new course, and hung out last night. They've got that thing rolling over there. It is it's a great. We're going to go back, but we spent a couple hours on one of the hitting bays last night at the Social Birdie. So highly recommend making that one of your stops in Branson too.
Well, before we talk more football, Deke Adams, who's I would argue of any assistant coach on this staff, has had the best last couple weeks, last couple months with some of the recruits. Chuck, Tommy's in a phenomenal complex right now. We've already taken a text or two on maybe where guys grew up playing Little League. Do either of y'all have Little League memories? Mine was just catching. I didn't play, but I watched plenty of my friends. When we caught foul balls in junior deputy in Little Rock, you get a free Coke Icy because they didn't want to lose the balls. Do you guys have any fun Little League memories from back in the day, or just baseball memories that you participated in growing up at all?
Well, you were 9 years old 20 years ago. I was 9 years old 52 years ago. So it's a little further back for me. So no, I don't have the vivid memories you do, but I do know that it was the time of my life, and I could hit it a mile. Don't kid yourself.
There it is. What about you, Tommy?
Throw it a mile?
I didn't need to. I played first base.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I didn't need to throw it a mile.
Nice.
My baseball memories as a kid are going to games. With my family, my dad, my brother, and my mom. Neither me or Teddy played baseball as a kid. We were golfers, and I played football, and so that was what we did. My memories are kind of like yours, catching the foul balls. Now, we were Braves fans growing up because of TBS, and we did those flyaway packages that Delta offered every summer. Maybe, and sometimes if they weren't very good in the 80s. We'd go out there to Fulton County Stadium, and we'd see the Braves. And sometimes we'd go to St. Louis and see them, and then sometimes we'd go to Kansas City and watch the Royals and the A's play back when they had the Bash Brothers. But those are kind of my childhood baseball memories, is flying away to Atlanta and going to Fulton County Stadium. That was our big vacation every summer.
We got a text here from Tyler. He said he played Little League baseball in La Mesa, California. They were the District 43 champions. They went to the regionals in San Bernardino where he threw a no-hitter. And then they lost the two straight games from Brian Giles
and a stud when I was 8.
Ronald Christensen, who both ended up in the major league. So plenty of, again, as we took some in last week, Chuck, some exaggerated. I don't think that one is, but definitely we'll get some probably throughout the morning with Tommy in Branson.
I just want to see Tommy take some hacks this morning.
Yeah.
I want to see him grab some lumber and take some hacks out there.
A kid behind you.
On the here, let me move the camera for those live stream. I don't know if I'm getting that right, but there's some of the team from Japan. They're out here batting it around a little bit, working the infield. They're looking for something to do this morning. So there's a little unofficial activity going on out here.
They need a batting practice pitcher, Tommy. You can fill that role if you needed to.
They've even got the screen out here, so if you're throwing a little BP, you're protected. So, they got it going on out here this morning. I think these kids are just old enough to embarrass me, though, if I had the bat in my hand.
Yep. So there is competition, obviously, going on Branson this weekend. Competition today in Fayetteville, Arkansas here, as they'll have their first scrimmage. It's closed. We'll get a chance to hear from Sam Pittman and the players a little later on today. JR wants to talk some football this morning. He's joined us. JR, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
Hi, JR.
Good. Hey, real quick, I'm sure there's some numbers to figure this out, but is this the last year that we play in Arlington, Texas A&M?
Yes, they will go home and home. It'll be in Fayetteville this next year because you're playing in, and you're the away team this year technically.
I'm sure there's some probably numbers out there to look at to see whether or not this over the last 8 or 10 years or however long it's been that the recruiting has benefited from that. I'm not sure, but I wonder what's out there. But my other question is about the scheduling from here forward. Is where does Little Rock play into all this with this expanded, SEC? I mean, Arkansas, don't they play? What do they play? 4 games before they play home? Is that correct this year?
Yeah, you play 5. Or you play 2. First SEC game, 5 games before you play your first SEC game in Razorback Stadium. So 5 different venues. The first 5 games, and your first SEC game is that Tennessee game on October the 5th. Little Rock is set to expire next year after you play Arkansas State. Haven't really heard anything about that recently. It's set in stone, basically. The A&M series is going to discontinue in terms of in Jerry world. But, I haven't heard anything, JR, in regards to the future of that. I'm going to guess it's going to expire, too.
I hope there's 20 or 30 of you on that $5,700 because that's a lot of money for Airbnb.
There was 10 of us.
Have a good day.
Thanks, JR.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ty
JR.
travels in style. Ty lives a little differently than the rest of us.
Yeah. He's got 2 friends. They're named Waldorf and Astoria.
Yeah. The trip has been changed. I couldn't go to New Orleans this weekend, but they are actually staying in a Waldorf Astoria this weekend. It's funny you say that. In terms of the scheduling, part of the reason I was told by this when I was in school. This was back when Chancellor Gearhart was the head of the university. He mentioned recruiting, guys. It wasn't just about football recruiting. It was about recruiting kids to campus. That was a big part of playing that game in Dallas every year. I mean, I'd say 50% of my friends from college are from the Dallas, Texas area, and that game. I mean, it's not the main reason kids will choose to come to Fayetteville, but it did get some kids more interested in coming to Arkansas. And it worked on the recruiting side, at least in just getting students to campus, I would say, a good chunk of them.
Yeah, this was I'm kind of like you. I don't know if it was the deciding factor for kids, but I think it was perhaps part of the overall effort, or maybe it just by happenstance became part of the overall effort to recruit kids out of Dallas. And when you look at the enrollment at the University of Arkansas, I mean, I think about sometimes what it was when I came around and what it is now. It's just staggering the way it's increased, and a lot of that is from kids in the Metroplex. Now, I think what the tuition rates are for those kids probably has more to do with them coming to Arkansas, comparatively speaking, than whether or not they're playing a football game down there. But I do think that was part of it, perhaps.
Bordering states, I think, get like 90% of tuition. And if I remember, if you qualify a certain way academically, at least that was when I was back in school a little bit. And
well, the point is, for a lot of kids in the Metroplex area, they could come to Arkansas as though they lived in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And if they wanted to do that, sometimes, and when they did that, the overall cost was less than going to some of the places down there. And that's part of the reason why the enrollment increased so rapidly. Not the only reason, and I don't want to make it sound like I know all about it, because I don't. But I know that had something to do with it.
Tell me more, Chuck. Come on, tell me more. I know this. I see a lot of Texas plates when I'm on I-49 between Greenland and, I don't know, Rogers or whatever, but you see a lot more Texas plates when you're just driving around NWA.
And Arkansas, yeah, definitely benefited because of that. Texas kid I know that you're excited about to watch this season is Landon Jackson. Chuck, we played, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to our open this morning, but it was basically just Landon's montage for what he destructed in terms of Alabama's offense earlier in Tuscaloosa last season. 3.5 sacks, ended up with 6.5 on the season, 44 tackles. He was a big get. Tommy, I think you said in the offseason that was maybe the biggest move that Arkansas had, not landing anybody, but just getting Landon back to campus. I don't know if we've heard from Deke Adams since that decision was made, but he kind of touched on that a little bit of just the benefit of getting Landon back.
It was huge for me because he and I sat down and had a
retaining
conversation.
him and not losing him in the portal or to the NFL draft was big,
and I think
really big.
That he wanted to come back to reach some of those goals at this level and even moving on to the next level. He's such a really good kid, and I say a kid, a young man, and he's married and all that, and so he's done a really good job. So I'm expecting a lot from him, and it meant a lot to me for him to come back. And so he just knows he has things he want to get done.
Sorry, Tommy. Yeah, finish your thought. That was, again, Coach Deke Adams there.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to me. But, yeah, I mean, sorry to interrupt Coach there. But my point was not losing Landon to the draft was maybe bigger than anything you gained in the portal. Not losing him to another school that wanted to outbid you on NIL was bigger than anything else that you gained. So, sometimes the biggest recruit's just retaining one of the kids you've got already on your roster, Chuck.
Well, just because a player has a great season, there's no guarantee he's going to play for you next year. And when you have a player like that and the season ends, again, there's nothing's guaranteed. And the fact that you get him back is important, and it's not always easy to do. And the good part is that, while Landon technically was from the state of Texas, for all intents and purposes, he's an Arkansan because there's a street in the middle of Texarkana, but it's one big town, really one big city now. So Landon's always been an Arkansan from that perspective, but he's really come into his own, and it's the way that he has changed his body. He was a big kid when he got here. He looks like an NFL player now. And that's a credit to him. He's gotten better on the field while he's done that. Not everybody can do that either.
Yeah. I think one of the most funny, if not the best battle of fall camp, and this is not to discredit what I think Andrew Armstrong and Braxton going at each other in different sets and whatever, I think it's got to be Landon Jackson and Carmona. That is the battle that he's talked about, for Carmona to talk about, and for other coaches talk about, and Landon kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday.
We're pushing each other every day, making each other better. So I feel like that's going to be real good for me going against a very talented offensive tackle every day, and I feel like that's going to make him better as well going against me every day. That's the
matchup to me. And again, we often look at skill positions as the more entertaining. I get that, but I think that's the best battle of fall camp, guys. Those two.
Well, I've not seen enough to say that. It's certainly, on paper, one of those that you'd want to watch. When I don't know, you may have seen more than me, but I don't know that it's the best, but it's certainly one that you look at and go, man, I'd like to watch those guys go at it for a little while.
Yeah, I bet when they do go ones-on-ones, which I don't know is how frequent, and I do think it's a bit different that they're having kind of the heavy lifting scrimmages middle of the week rather than Saturdays. Man, if you could find your way through a crack in the fence to watch some of that portion of the practice, probably you're right, Ty, would be very entertaining in that one-on-one matchup to see who could win it.
Yeah, and there's other guys, again, competing at each other daily, but those are two guys that have been pretty much Landon, of course, has not just been here last year, but last couple of years. Carmona seems like he's locked up a starting position since he got here. It's pretty solidified. Tommy, we were talking about positions that we don't know just yet. We mentioned the kicker the other day. Those are two guys are going to be, unless there's an injury, are going to be starting for you this fall.
Yeah, and it's not time to declare starters. Some like Landon Jackson, we know he's going to be one of the first out there on defense, but it's not time to always declare the starters in each and every spot yet. With 3 weeks to go, guys, 3 weeks from tonight, Chuck, you're going to be behind the microphone.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. Yeah. One of the things that I think we got to keep in mind is that, the way they're, like yesterday, for example, the reason we're talking about Landon Jackson and Deke Adams today is because they were the ones that were front and center after practice yesterday. Mm-hmm. And there'll be other position groups as we move forward. It's a team game. 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, and we focus on a lot of these groups, and there's reason to be positive about a lot of these groups. But they're still going to have to come together and form units. And we'll see the finished product as we move through the year. I'm excited about a lot of these positions as well. But I do think that, sometimes you get into a situation where you focus on one group one day and you think, well, they become the end-all, be-all, and it's really not quite that way. You've got to wait and see how they all blend together out there on the field. But I do think, when you look at that defensive line, I do think Deke Adams done a great job, and I think they've recruited pretty well at those spots, better than they have in the past. And now you got to put it together with the other groups on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Hey, we're live in Branson. They've got 2 big tournaments going on up here. We're going to tell you more throughout the morning. We're at the Ballparks of America. The Cal Ripken 12 and under is going on right now with 39 teams, and then they've got 20 teams in the Babe Ruth 13 to 16-year-old tournament, the Babe Ruth 70. Teams from all over the world are here in Branson for this event. We're glad to be here with them. Brought to you by River City Coatings. They're in Van Buren, Arkansas. You can go to rivercitycoatings.com. Whether large or small, River City Coatings can handle your powder coating needs. Now you say, what is powder coating? Isn't that just like paint? No, it's nothing like paint. It becomes actually part of the metal, and it can withstand chemicals and abrasions and the weathering that will eat away at paint over time. They've been doing this for more than 25 years at River City Coating, so they know what they're doing. And it's they just recently did a very small project for me, but large-scale projects. Like I'm looking over here at this this picnic table that people will be sitting at all day long, eating stuff and just hanging out here at the ballparks. That's something you might take to River City Coatings and have them powder coat, so you never have to worry about painting it again. Things like patio furniture, rims, brake calipers, farm equipment, pretty much anything that's metal can be powder coated. Go to rivercitycoatings.com or call my friends at River City Coatings at 471-7675. That's River City Coatings in Van Buren.
So I want to come back when we have a little more time to talk about the month that Deke Adams has had, because there's been a couple big-time recruits that he's been able to get. But I have been itching to ask Chuck about what's going on in Miami. Chuck, what do you think about Pitbull becoming basically the face of Florida International Athletics and owning the rights to the stadium, the official entrepreneur of Florida International?
Man, he's big in South Florida. That's his home turf, so I'm not real surprised. I doubt, frankly, the rate to buy the naming rights at FIU is as big as it would be at a lot of places. I'll bet Arkansas is charging more. What do you want to bet?
It's
interesting. I mean, it's interesting.
$1.2 million. That's it.
That seems low.
$6 million in 5 years.
Well, guys, it's FIU. I don't know how many times people have been to South Florida, but you can pass FIU's campus in the Miami area and never know you passed it. Not because it's insignificant, but because there are just so many things there.
Yeah.
And same for FAU's campus.
Boca.
It's really in Jupiter. I mean, if you've been to see the Cardinals play in spring training, you walk through the FAU campus between general admission parking and the ballpark. I mean, it's just like right there by it. So my point is, I don't think the naming rights. You said $1.2 million. I don't know how many.
That tells you what you need to know.
Yeah, I don't know how many SEC.
Tells you what you need to know
for 1.2.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to. Now,
there's stadiums you couldn't get a suite in. There's stadiums you couldn't get a suite in for $1 million.
I need a selfie of Chuck Barrett prior to Arkansas taking on the Hurricanes in the ACC SEC Challenge outside of Pitbull Stadium in Miami. Think we can make that happen, Chuck?
Well, I don't know. You'll need to send a driver.
Okay.
I'm not going on.
Maybe a talent fee. I think, Tommy, we could get a talent fee somehow. Figure it out with that as well. But I just thought that was interesting. And again, you tie that back to here in Fayetteville with Razorback Stadium naming rights, but like you alluded to, it's going to cost a lot more than $1.2 million a year to put your name across Razorback Stadium.
And I'm just guessing. I'm guessing that this is not going to be the year they officially change the name. I would think we'd have heard something with 3 weeks to go before the first game, but
it's not been sold yet, apparently.
Yeah, I may be wrong about that. They may be announcing something later today, but I'm guessing if they had found a naming partner, they would.
They're waiting on you to win the lottery, Tommy, so you can invest your money in it.
They just, I'd like to be able to help them with that. So, hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust. I'm here at this ballpark. I'm seeing lots of fencing. They've done some ballparks in their time with Sean and his crew at the Fence Man. These are the kind of large-scale jobs they do, but also the fence around your backyard, the fence at your work, whether it's 6 foot or 8 foot, wood or vinyl, or you need chain link. They can do it all. 782-3936. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar.
Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one.
Gentlemen, let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Sure, the great game from Landon Jackson there. We had 3.5 sacks on Jalen Milroe against the Alabama Crimson Tide last season. Hoping for more for Landon. He's hoping for more. He talked about that a little bit yesterday, as did his position coach, Deke Adams, who has had himself a whale of the last couple months. We'll get more to that coming up, but do want to share a streak that was broken recently and unfortunately got back into it. The Chicago White Sox, and just kind of some baseball memories as we continue on live from Branson this morning.
Yeah, we're live here at the Ballparks of America. Glad to be here this morning. They've got the 2024 Cal Ripken World Series, which is the 12 and under teams. There's 39 of these from around the world, and then the Babe Ruth 13 to 16-year-old World Series is here as well. It's 20 teams. They got 5 different themed fields. Chuck, you'd love this. They've got a Chicago field, which I'm right behind the home plate of, right near the scores area. It's kind of themed like Wrigley. Then you got one that's like Busch Stadium. That's Chicago or St. Louis. Then you got Kansas City, Boston, and Brooklyn. So there's a field for all your memories kind of thing. That's got to be neat. And I'm sure for some of these kids, like Brooklyn, you might have to tell them what, educate them a little bit. The Green Monster's kind of cool. So, I mean, this got to be neat for these 59 teams that are here from places like Australia, Aruba, Hawaii, California, Virginia, North Dakota, Puerto Rico is here. Paragould, Arkansas is here. Branson, Missouri is here. So, Japan is here. So this is a really neat event.
It really is. It's a great facility up there. Anyone who's been to Branson that's been by it, it's really cool. And I was thinking a little bit earlier, the team from Japan was behind you practicing early this morning, taking a group of, how old are these kids? 10 years old, 11, something like that?
You got 12 and under, and then 13 to 16.
Okay.
I think we
in Missouri. Can you imagine what this experience is like for them?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's great what they do.
Yeah, so if you're from New Zealand, which there's a team from New Zealand, you're coming to America for the first time. This is this is going to be their impression of what America's all about is right here. So
pretty cool. Staying on the subject of baseball, Chicago White Sox have broken their streak. Unfortunately, got back into it yesterday, falling to the Oakland Athletics 3-2, despite two-run shot from Andrew Benintendi.
So Andrew Benintendi, over his last 6 games, batting .364. This one, another shot out to deep right, and Benintendi goes yard. A 2-run home run here in the second, and it's a 2-0 Sox lead.
So they held the lead, lost it, but you heard the commentator there. Andrew's been hot. It seems like, Tommy, every time I play an Andrew Benintendi highlight, it's in a loss, but lately he hasn't necessarily been the reason why the White Sox had that losing streak and then even lost yesterday.
God, maybe he's thinking if I can just keep hitting some home runs and getting on base, maybe I can get traded.
They've broken the losing streak.
Yes, they've
broken
the losing streak.
You're right. Yeah, they started a new one last night.
Yeah, they
started a new one.
I was kind of like Tommy. I've got to believe the White Sox wanted to move him, or at least they'd at least thought about it. But he's been on this tear of late. But guys, this is the first tear he's been on in a long time, and he was batting below 200 for most of the season, and I just don't know if they would have been able to move him, even if that had been, one of the things that they really wanted to do. I'm just not sure, but I was kind of like Tommy. I was kind of hoping that he'd be moved, but his numbers weren't such that they could really get much for him, and I'm glad to see him hot now. He's a good guy and a good player, and I'd like to see him play for a good team, before it's all said and done.
Yeah. I think about these next few weeks. We'll obviously have Arkansas football beginning in 21 days. But is he the most, and you'll have football, the NFL season will kick off basically a week after Arkansas does. Even on a losing team, is he the pro Razorback we'll talk about the most the next few weeks? He's up there as one of the most notable pro hogs in the baseball circuit right now. Even on...
No, because they're not in the race. We get into this best and most and all that stuff. The only reason people are talking about the White Sox, just to be very blunt, is because of their futility. That's the only reason. And that's why, because he's the one hot hitter and because he's ours is the reason that we're bringing him up. But, the players and the teams that are in the race are, they're the ones that are going to get the attention.
Tommy, have you gone out for batting practice or pitching practice yet?
I tried. I picked up a bat, and they all seemed scared of me. So I couldn't get anyone to pitch to me. And there's, way back in the distance, I'm afraid see these buildings in the background if you're watching online. There's some buildings back there, I don't know, 300-400 feet. I don't know what's parked on the other side. So I really hate to hit a baseball over that roof not knowing if someone's vehicle's parked over there. So I better hold off.
Stay away for just a bit.
Yeah. I don't want to be responsible for a windshield this early in the morning.
Probably.
With my power hitting prowess.
Probably smart.
And I'm hitting out of my Hey Dudes. I got my Hey Dudes on this morning. So, I don't know if I could quite launch it over the building in my Hey Dudes. So I didn't bring my cleats, Chuck.
Hard to shift.
Yeah, it's hard, get your stance just right there in the batter's box. But, I need to really make sure I had a clear hitting lane back there. So.
We got our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Tom Murphy has also joined us in this hour. Got some more on Deke Adams, what he had to say yesterday, and also a few other guys. Coming back to football, Chuck, it's rare that you have a player stay on campus for 6 straight years, and that's exactly what Eric Gregory has done. This is a guy, Memphis, Tennessee, I guess IMG Academy, and now playing in his 6th final season. Doesn't necessarily get talked about as much as Landon and some other guys, but as important a piece to this defensive front as there is.
I wonder how, what kind of year he's going to have. You mentioned 6th year. I mean, he's 24 years old now, I guess, or at least in that neighborhood. So he's a big guy. He's a good player. Never been what I would classify as a great player, in terms of like takes over a game, like goes through a stretch where he just dominates. He's had some big plays. I think it was it Tennessee where he kind of got that, I think it was a fumble. They called an interception. Or it was a batted pass. I forget. But, Gregory's had some moments. And I think that he's someone now, given his age, given his experience, I think he's poised to have a really good year.
Mm-hmm. I think it was that Texas game against Hudson Card where he came
Texas,
from.
Right, maybe that was it.
He came from Hans. So that was one of the best plays he's made.
Yeah. Well, 3 weeks from tonight, the Razorbacks get after it. Football season's almost here. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, you can find it in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Get on and find all the futures, the outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, game props, you name it. It's probably there. Baseball, basketball, of course, football in just weeks. It's all on the Oaklawn Sports app, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Here's the other bonus when you get Oaklawn. If your first bet doesn't work out, between $10 and $250, they'll give you a bonus bet as well. You can even use that on the Paris Olympics for the next few days before the closing ceremonies. So bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas, guys. Download it and use it. Bet with the Oaklawn Sports app.
We've also got our Hog update coming up in just a bit. We'll share some other Razorback news as we continue on live from Branson at the Ballpark of Americas.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Tim Brando, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
At Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
I got a question.
Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
I didn't ask what you think.
Actually, you did.
It was a rhetorical question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at CartPathSocial.com. CartPath Social, the getting out of the sun, making golfing fun.
Cart Path Social. I'm at the Ballparks of America here in Branson. They're getting ready for the Cal Ripken and Babe Ruth World Series that will begin today. The sounds of the ballpark, you may be able to hear those behind me. We got some kids out here just having fun, batting it around. You can hear the ball popping in the mitt. You can hear the ping of the bat. I saw some food carts moving by. They're starting to get ready, so the smells of the ballpark will be going on. Here's my Morning Rush Daily. I've got two in mind. What is your favorite part of the ambiance of going to a ballpark? To me, baseball, Chuck, is so different than anything else because you have the specific sounds, the smells. In some major league parks, you've got the hand-operated scoreboards. What's the ambiance or the nostalgia you most look forward to when you visit a big league ballpark or a place like this?
It's the field itself for me. The contrast, the green field. You walk into the stadium, you walk up the ramp, and you everything's right there in front of you. And the green field's what you notice. That's what I like. Just the field itself, the surface, and the way it's manicured and cut, and the way it looks, the way it smells when it's freshly mown. I think all that stuff. I'm into that.
See, I like getting to the park early enough to after they've completed batting practice, and if I get to watch that, that's great. But when they start, putting the lines down, putting the chalk down for the batter's box, I start working that field to get it ready. I don't know what it is about that process. That's one of my favorite things at the ballpark. I can just hear all these sounds, and it brings back all these memories. Ty, you got a favorite nostalgic tradition or thing, a routine you like when you come to a ballpark?
Well, they're not there probably, but I would say the dugout girls. That's usually up there.
Yeah, at the 12 and under, I don't know that they're going to have the dugout girls.
No.
But all right, so here's question 2 on the question of the day. What's your favorite ballpark food? Because I've already seen some carts and things go by. They've got every kind of concession stand you can imagine here. So when you go to the ballpark, what's the food item you got to have, Chuck?
Oh, just a regular hot dog. Nothing fancy for me. Hot dog with mustard, and that's it. So I don't need anything else. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
We could have just come from dinner. I could have just had a 4-course meal, scarfed down a little dessert. I mean, barely been able to walk from the restaurant to the ballpark, walk inside. I got to have a hot dog, man, and I got to have one now. So that's just kind of how it is for me.
Yeah, hot dogs are elite at 2 places, the golf course and the ballpark. Chuck, I'm with you, but I raw dog that thing. I just get it plain. Hot dog, just eat it plain. I'll mustard and ketchup. It's there, whatever.
What was the term you used?
Raw dog.
Okay.
Raw dog, the hot dog, Tommy.
Bag of peanuts. I've got to have
Those are good, too.
I mean, peanuts in the shell that you can sit there and you crack open the shell, and it's like going to Texas Roadhouse or something. You just throw them shells right there in the floor.
Or whatever.
So, peanuts. Got to have peanuts when you go to the ballpark. All right, that's those are your Morning Rush daily questions as we're live at the Ballparks of America. Tyler, brought to you by Cart Path Social in Lowell.
Yep, really appreciate Christian and Nate, everything they do in Lowell. Check them out, cartpathsocial.com. Easy to get to in Northwest Arkansas. Multiple bays. There's whether it's gender reveals, fantasy football parties, corporate events, or you're just hanging out during the weekday or weekend with your friends. The best place for indoor golf, again, cartpathsocial.com. Tommy, a couple of your items or a couple of your questions getting responses. Seth and Roger says it's the organ music for him and Single A and Danville. Michael in Fort Smith, like me and Chuck, thinks that a hot dog tastes better at a game. And JT, like you said, Chuck, likes his with mustard, and he enjoys a bag of peanuts as well. So those
are both good.
Yeah,
both good.
There is something about a hot dog and peanuts at a ballpark.
There's something, too, for me anyway, about the crack of a wooden bat in an empty stadium. You know, when they're taking BP, when you're the first one there.
Right.
Now, I don't do this so much anymore because I get bored after about 5 minutes. But when I was younger, I loved to be like the first one in the stadium and watch the end of BP and hear the crack of that bat just cascade around that empty stadium. I always thought that was cool.
Well, let's see what Tom Murphy has to say to your questions. We bring him in, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tommy is in Branson this morning at the Ballpark of Americas. I know, Braves fan, you attend Arkansas baseball games, covering them. Do you have a favorite part of the ballpark at either Bob Walker or now the new stadium out there in Atlanta?
That's a great point. I haven't been to the Truist Park yet in Atlanta, but I'll tell you this. I went to the launching pad, and Chuck was talking about batting practice. I'd go to BP. There'd be hardly anyone in the stands. And I went to games in the 80s when the Braves were really bad, where there could be a foul ball one section over from where you were sitting, and you had a chance to get the ball. That's how deserted some of those games were.
Well, maybe you get a chance to go to Truist Park
the old Del Murphy days.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe you get a chance to go next year, Tom, with SEC Media Days being in Atlanta. Maybe they'll do something at least to see the park. We got this scrimmage today for Arkansas football. You're not going to get a chance to watch it. We'll hear from Pittman, some of the other guys. You've seen plenty of these. When they actually scrimmage and put on the pads, how much of a level change, how much of a change do you see from that transition from just the Spiders to now them suiting up?
Well, I'll say this to the Sam Pittman regime. They've always practiced pretty tough. Even with spider pads on, there's been, shoulder-to-shoulder type contact by the O-line. It's not just walk-through stuff. And when they put on the shells, it increases in toughness. And then the full pads, and then they're going to be tackling to the ground. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was 130, 150 plays. I mean, one of Bobby Petrino's first scrimmages, I had to go to a wedding in North Carolina, and it turned out to be like a 180 type play scrimmage. It was windy, and it was kind of bitter. And the guys, that's a legendary scrimmage from back in the day. And so this is a closed one for us, so we won't be in there. But I would like to think, or I would imagine that there's going to be a lot of guys, Andrew Armstrong, Ty Broden, Jaquindon Jackson, and maybe some on defense who don't participate or who are very limited based on what we've been seeing in practice this week.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us here, Morning Rush. It's a Thursday morning. It sounds like the heavy lifting on the scrimmages are going to be midweek, which is, it's kind of been traditionally on Saturdays, but sounds like maybe the more impactful, meaningful scrimmages are not going to be on Saturdays this year.
Correct. And it's one of those things that coaches like to do. They line up what the week looks like based on what that opener is. And so since they're opening on Thursday, they're going to build up each week in these next several weeks that lead into the game as if Thursday is the big day. And coaches like to do that. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I've heard a coach, like getting ready for a bowl, start saying this Monday practice is going to look like a Tuesday practice, and so on. It gets conditioned in the player's head on what the feel of a practice is going to look like. And so that's how they're building up this camp.
Yeah.
Tom, in terms of what we got a chance to listen to yesterday, Deke Adams, couple defensive linemen, is there any assistant on that campus that's had a better month or so than Deke Adams?
Yeah, he's got a veteran group. It's kind of like we've had back-to-back the receivers with Ronnie Fouch and now Deke Adams that have super veteran groups. And it's all about the details and the fundamental, improving the little stuff for these groups, because we know Landon Jackson's a player. What's going to make him more attractive to NFL scouts? Perfecting the little parts of his craft. So, Nico DeValier really is the only guy who hasn't been a starter from Deke Adams' group. And so to hear him talk about it yesterday, and of course Nico was up there, to hear all those guys talk about it, Nico's ready. He's been kind of, learning, biding his time, and we've seen him flash. I mean, I remember talking to a coach, a high school coach who was at practice in Nico's freshman year, and saying, "Oh my gosh, that kid really flashed." Well, now he's ready for prime time, and how he plays, how he contributes, is going to be a big part to the Razorback success this year.
Yeah. There's always that camp star that comes along, and I don't know, it's probably too early to name anyone, but is there anyone that stood out? I mean, we haven't heard from Sam Pittman since the beginning of camp, and it's been position coaches, and we're limited on what we can watch, but anyone that, you talk about the word flash is what made me think of this. Anyone that's flashed, in your opinion, or one that keeps coming up in the conversations?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you'll probably take a little deeper into camp before you know, and we've only seen him in full pads one day, but Isaiah Satania's off to a great start. It's kind of like what we saw in camp last year. He's getting the ball a lot, and I think his chances are legit to be, to really rise up the ranks among SEC receivers this year. He's one of several. Defensively, it's hard to watch practice and not see Anthony Switzer do something. And I don't know what his ultimate position is going to be, because he had been a DB. Well, now he's playing a lot of linebacker. They're working him at the hog/nickel position. He's just a guy who I think has good coverage skills, good speed, but he's also a hitter. And so, you're going to see him maybe employed in a variety of different ways, but he's flashed. And, Jalen Braxton, Tyrone Broden has really flashed as a receiver. We haven't seen a ton of the run games, particularly with live tackling, so it's hard to make judgments there and on the O-line. But Junior Carmona, the new left tackle, there's a lot of talk about, really upgrading. And if the Razorbacks are going to be a much better football team this fall, guys like Carmona, Blackstock, Joe Moore are going to be integral parts of that.
Tom, we heard from Landon Jackson at SEC Media Days, and we've heard others talk about the differences with purpose and intent that the coaches and the leaders on this team have made to create more involvement, to create a better team culture and interaction between the players. They didn't go as far to say that was missing last year, but they're clearly doing something to improve what they had last year. Here's my question. in the limited time we're getting to see, do you notice any differences in how they're starting practice? Maybe that's not the way to judge it, but I know there was a lot of talk about that, and last year there's a lot of speculation. Do these guys get along and like each other? They've tried to do things to bring this team together. The way they interact on the practice field, is there anything you notice different so far this year?
Well, so Landon Jackson was in the room yesterday, and he did talk about how he and Taylor Green have tried to be more together and have more of a unifying message throughout the entire locker room. And I would say that yes, they understand. Sam Pittman has clearly drilled it into their heads that last year's team was too fractured. They weren't together, harmonious. And when you are, you can achieve more than what your parts can add up to when everybody's on the same page. And I think they understand how important that is. But the reality is, how's that going to hold when you get into a game and you get punched in the mouth, or Oklahoma State has a 70-yard touchdown run, on their third play from scrimmage? What's your reaction to that? How well does the team stick together then? And so a lot of those answers are yet to come. But I will say this: if your starting point is that everyone sounds harmonious, they're all buying into, they're trusting the person next to them and what schemes are going to be called, the coaches are going to put them in the right position. You're in a much better starting point, and I do get that sense from this Razorback squad.
Tom, it doesn't seem to be harmonious in two other college football programs right now. I'll start with Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, kids, for those that don't know, was given out a 4-year show cause and a 1-year suspension from the NCAA. Curious if anything happens with Sharon Moore and everything else. And that was actually in regards to something else, not even the Connor Stallion stuff. Was that a fair punishment from the NCAA, or are their hands basically tied, considering they can't really do anything with him in the National Football League?
Well, that's a great question, and I don't feel like in position to say whether or not it was fair, but I'll say this: Michigan prevailed through a lot of distractions throughout last year. I mean, think about it. Harbaugh started the season on suspension, and I think it was related to recruiting stuff from during COVID, and so he does that, and they keep on going. I mean, they had a very, very talented roster. Now they've lost a ton of guys. And without Harbaugh, there is a question now. You've lost a ton of talent. There's these lingering distractions. Sharon Moore his name has come up in, what happened during the Connor Stallions thing. So it's going to be a lot harder for Michigan this year to, I think, power through with all the distractions. So we'll see how that plays out. But I don't know. Jim Harbaugh is a very, very interesting character. They were successful when he was the coach of the Niners. I mean, he had them. Didn't he lead them to a Super Bowl or at least an NFC Championship game? I think they beat my Falcons in a playoff game back in about 12. And then he comes to college and has great success. I don't doubt that he'll do well with the Chargers. But, hey, he's got to file honest injury reports, right, in the NFL. Let's see how he does with those.
And I guess the news coming out, I know we asked Clay this. We hadn't got a chance to ask you about this. The SEC in 2 weeks or so sounds like they're going to move towards injury reports. The extent of those is unknown right now. Will they be weekly? Will they be day of game? What do you think about the SEC seemingly to trend in the NFL direction of releasing stuff publicly in regards to injury reports?
Yeah, I think the powers that be have felt that the gambling situation is such that, it's being legalized more and more across the country, and that there needs to be some type of regulation so that the insider part of things isn't as seedy, I guess. And so it's probably good to have regulation. There's so many coaches out there who don't want to, or have not in the past been willing to do that because others aren't doing it. And I know Eli Drinkwitz plowed some new ground last year with his reports. I have not checked with anybody on how accurate they turned out to be on game day, but if there's a standardized process to do this, I think it's good for the game. And obviously you want to keep the any kind of improprieties out of how people view their sport. And since gambling is more widespread, you just got to be very careful about how you manage and administer your sport.
Tom, we'll leave it there. Have fun at practice this weekend, and we'll catch up next week.
All right, sounds good. See ya.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us. We're live in Branson at the Ballparks of America. Chuck, that's one of the things with these injury reports. I don't know how fully detailed these coaches are going to be required to fill them out, but in some ways, I think in many ways, in the intent's to protect the players and the support staffs and the coaches and people around them. Just put the info out there, and then maybe there's a few less people trying to gain that information to gain an edge in the gambling marketplace.
Well, this was inevitable. I mean, we talked about it a couple of years ago that, given the fact that college sports has partnered with the gaming industry, it was inevitable that you had something along the lines of what they do in professional sports in terms of how you list injuries. Now, my sense is that there will be a lot of players listed as questionable.
That's my thought too.
But I don't know how specific they're going to require teams and coaches and staffs to be. Now, I will say this. People have this idea sometimes that teams know on Monday or Tuesday whether or not a kid's going to play. And they're just not telling. Guys, I've been around a lot of teams over a long time. There are many, many instances where they do not know as late as Thursday. And generally they know on Thursday whether or not a kid's going to play. Generally speaking. There are exceptions to that rule. But people do have this idea that they know when the week starts whether or not a kid's going to play, that they're just being coy. And that's not always true. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is true. But the majority of the time they don't know. So I do think there's going to be a lot of kids listed as questionable. It's just going to be a matter of how specific do you have to be on game day?
Yeah.
Because from a gambling standpoint, clearly that's when most of the action's going to happen. So, how specific, and over time, I'm sure they'll be studying the accuracy of teams' reports. They'll know who fudges and who tells you exactly as things are, and they'll adjust accordingly, would be my point.
And here's the other element to that, Chuck. What punishments follow you saying something incorrect or something that's blatantly false? That's something that they have to, I think, account for.
Well, I think that's something that you determine as you go.
Okay.
And I think that each violation, I mean, there may be degrees of sin. Who knows? I mean, some may be more egregious than others and warrant stiffer punishments. I mean, I have no idea. I do know if you're buying or selling a home, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is the name you need to remember. If you're in northwest Arkansas, if you're in the River Valley, if you're in southwest Missouri, north central Arkansas, over the border, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is right there with you every step of the way. For some, it'll be the first time out. For others, might be a retirement home even. They're going to meet you right where you are, and you're going to be partnering with an agent that's the best trained in the business. Someone who knows the inside, all the inside out, so to speak. They're not going to encounter a situation that they are not prepared for, that they've not been trained for, and that serves you well. You're also going to find a friend and a neighbor with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been in business a long time, and that's how you maintain your business, is building relationships and keeping those intact over the years. Now, they've got offices in northwest Arkansas, Washington, and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson. And you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
We'll save some of the Jim Harbaugh and Deion Sanders stuff for the 8 o'clock hour because I think that both stories are kind of interesting. We can touch on a little more. Guys, I know that over the years you probably dealt with an employee of the company or two that has steered you in the wrong direction. I go to Home Depot yesterday, and I talked to the lady. I have this coupon because I'm trying to furnish this pool house. And I talked to this lady. It's like, oh, yeah, you can use that coupon at home. It's like, so I don't have to buy stuff here. Just I'm here. I can get it delivered. It's like, no, it works at home. It's a 15% off coupon. I go back to the house. I order everything online. I type in the promo code, and it says it's invalid. So they cost me $150 because I bought like 5 things by just sending me back home. And I didn't have time to go back yesterday because because I had to get stuff shipped by a certain time because of stuff next week. Doesn't that just drive you nuts when an employee doesn't tell you what the right direction is when you're trying to buy a product from them. I thought that was the stupidest thing ever yesterday. I mean, on a Too Stupid Thursday, you cost me $150, lady. $150.
Just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I was very polite, very respectful, but $150 down the drain.
Life's just
that was
not
your problem.
fair sometimes.
No.
Life's just not fair.
There's your problem. You were polite and respectful. That didn't get the problem solved.
Evidently.
You said, I've got a coupon right up front.
Yeah.
Yes, I
and
started it.
that's where you were derailed. When any time it starts with "I've got a coupon," it's probably
It
not
just
gonna
goes
go
off the rails.
Did you have your socks pulled up to your knees while you said I have a coupon?
I was wearing some dad shirt yesterday, so I looked like I could have been a father.
Black knee-high socks. Did you with your Velcro New Balance? Did you? Was that the look you had going in when you? I've got my coupon.
I did
right
have my
here.
New Balances on yesterday. $150 down the grade.
Well, you can take that $150 and go to Gaston's. That'll get you a good start at Gaston's White River Resort. Love the restaurant. This would be a great weekend. If you're out driving around, even if you're not staying at Gaston's, make a reservation in the restaurant and overlook the White River as you enjoy a great steak or one of their seafood dinners. They always fly in great fresh fish every weekend. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I love listening to y'all. You're a really intelligent group of sports broadcasters.
You're listening to The Morning Run.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
All the road hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during her long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Get hooked on Sharp Equipment this year. Sharp Equipment has hooked up with Eastern Oklahoma Guide Service for a free guided fishing trip with the purchase of any Wacker Newson equipment. Along with getting a superior piece of equipment, you will get hooked up with a free guided fishing trip for the chance at a catch of a lifetime. Visit them at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call them at 479-242-1406.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Light.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Drake, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
We got a chance to hear from Coach Deke Adams yesterday, and one of the players that they got in the offseason was Anton Dukas, who led the FCS in tackles last year. Here's what Coach had to say about one of his new DNs.
Continuing to grow. I mean, he had a really good spring. A lot of things that, you know, when he got here that he had not been taught or not been exposed to, and he was learning. He, as the spring went on, he got later in the spring, he understood what we were doing, and he started, you can see his growth started to really take off. And I think we really want to get back to that point, continue to grow, because he'll be a big part of our success.
Guys, I don't know if Dukas is going to initially start, but definitely going to factor in the defensive end mix behind Landon Jackson and Nico Davier, who we got a chance to hear from yesterday. He's been banged up a little bit, sounds like, but factor ahead, I think, this football season.
Well, you got to have it, 7, 8, 9 guys there, Chuck, on that D line all the way across. So depth is not just your first 4 that you put out there. The depth's what's going to make the difference in a postseason team and not a postseason team.
I think they do have some possibilities there on the other side of Jackson, though. They've got a couple of guys over there. Davier's one of them, and Juntaj is the other one, and I think they've got a chance there. I think the defensive line's got a chance to be one of the strengths of the team. They feel like they've got some pretty good depth there this year, and obviously we're going to find out. But the teams in our league that are really good, I mean, they can rotate those defensive linemen, and there's not much difference between the second guys and the first guys.
And that's what I think we cited it a couple times last year. You lost a few of them with Torian Carter, Tank Booker, and Jashad Stewart. But, Chuck, when you look, a lot of times there is a drop-off in Fayetteville when the first-team guys can stack up in SEC. But if you look at last year's defensive line, there wasn't, kind of like you're saying, much of a drop-off last year. And they're just hoping that kind of stays the same this year.
I think they've gotten better in that area. It's not obviously at championship level, and I'm not going to try to sit here and tell you that it's like, what the top 4 or 5 teams in the league have, but it's a lot more than we've had in a long time. And I thought it was that way last year. Now here's the thing, with the transfer portal, a lot of the guys that come in and provide this depth we've never heard of before. I think about a guy like Kiwi Rose who came in here. How many people knew who Kiwi Rose was? But yeah, you get these guys in here, and they give you some good snaps. They're not superstars, but they give you good snaps, and they're solid players. And I think they've got some guys like that.
Chuck, I don't have the audio, but I do remember Deke Adams specifically talking about Kiwi comes from Louisiana Tech, and it's not just about talent; it's about the right fit, chemistry-wise in the locker room. He really spoke high volumes of Kiwi coming in and transitioning with this team.
Let me go to a different spot on the defense. You were talking about this Switzer kid, Anthony Switzer, with Tom a little bit earlier, and he's one of those guys that's gotten some attention early on. He transferred from Utah State. Sometimes when a guy transfers in from somewhere, well, he's the kid from Utah State. And he's from Marion. He's an Arkansas kid. He started his career at Arkansas State. Then he went to Utah State. He actually only played 1 year out there. His stats tell you, well, he's not a superstar. But this guy's 23, 24 years old now. And this is it. This is it. And he's back playing for, and it's no disrespect to Arkansas State, but he's back playing for the Razorbacks now. And more people in Arkansas are going to talk about the Razorbacks than they do about ASU. That's just the truth. And so I just wonder if we're not going to get something from a kid like that, because it just means everything in the world to him, and because this is it. And some of these other guys, some of these portal guys that we've never heard of that are coming in from other places, some of these guys, this is the last go-round. This is the last shot. COVID gave them an extra year, and now this is it. So you wonder, at least I do, I wonder, number one, does the physical maturity and the emotional maturity that comes from being 23, 24 years old, does that give them a chance to do something that, beyond what people thought they'd be when they were 19 or 20? I don't know the answers to those questions. And then secondly, physically, are you just better than some of the other guys you're going against because you're more toward your physical peak than they are? I don't know. But I do know that all over college football, there are 22, 23, 24-year-olds who may be on their third school and their last school. And we've got some of them, and other teams do too. And those to me are guys to watch, because you might get something more than you've gotten before.
And it's because, like you mentioned, those are ASU football, and Utah State, no disrespect, it's not SEC football. He's coming home of sorts. You think about Dix, the kid from originally started at Florida State, then Marshall, coming up to SEC football, Worth from Jacksonville State. There's plenty of guys, like you said, on this roster that have been brought in that have maybe played 3-4 years of college football and are now transitioned to that higher level, which is the Southeastern Conference.
You never know when the light's going to click on for somebody.
Yeah.
You just never know.
And they're really excited. Like, Switzer played a lot of D-back at Utah State and A-State, but it sounds like he's going to factor in maybe a little bit at the hog and linebacker position. So they seem to be interchangeable too, Chuck.
It doesn't mean these guys are going to be all conference.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean they're going to start. It doesn't even mean they're going to be starters. I don't know what position Switzer's going to end up at. He may be playing well enough they have to put him on the field. But now Danico Slaughter's going to be the nickelback, I think. In fact, I feel pretty certain of it. But that doesn't mean that players like this won't play an integral part in what you do.
Fastest guy on the team, apparently, and has made an impact since coming over from Tennessee. All right, some other news in your Hog update. Andrew Armstrong, it's watch list season, has been named to the Biletnikoff Best Wide Receiver in College Football watch list. Luke has been named to the Comeback Player of the Year watch list as well. Luke, again, we saw flashes early on in his freshman year, and then Andrew had 700 and some odd yards last season. I think he could take a big step this year. Also, last thing, Sasha Goforth, former Arkansas Razorback women's basketball player, has been added as a graduate assistant. So Mike Neighbors bringing back a former player into the fold. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Tommy, we heard a crack of the bat a few times when we were interviewing Tom. I've heard it since then. You're at the Ballpark of America's Chicago Field in Branson, Missouri this morning.
I was wondering if y'all could hear the sounds of the ballpark in the background. They got 59 teams literally from around the world. There's a team from Japan, Belgium, the Bahamas, Australia, and there's a team from Paragould, Arkansas here as well. That's all a part of what's going on this weekend. They've got the Babe Ruth and the Cal Ripken World Series. 12 and under for the Cal Ripken, 13 to 16-year-olds for the Babe Ruth, and a big event here in Branson. We'll be telling you more in Hour 3, farming and ranching. That's the lifestyle a lot of us love, and it's like no other. And it's good to know that Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has been there to help get you through the good times and the tough ones as well. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or drive by any of their 25 local offices for the assistance you need from sunrise to sunset.
All right, in hour number 3, I want to talk more about Coach Adams with the success he's had on the recruiting trail, plus what's going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Boulder, Colorado.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns, 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be in the lower to middle 90s. Later on tonight, mainly clear, and overnight low upper 60s. Friday, a bounty of sunshine, a high mid-80s north, low 90s south, and then a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm for Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 21 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Pressure coming. The Razorbacks dump him back at the 37-yard line. Landon Jackson. Milroe wants to run on third down, but he can't. Again, it's Landon Jackson. Milroe's in trouble. Hogs snow him under. Jackson got there first. Milroe gets it. Pressure coming, and they got him. Landon Jackson comes through again for the Razorback.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow. It's
You know, we were talking about the scene that is when you walk into a ballpark. It could be something where Tommy's at this morning at the Baseball of America's Field, Chicago Field in Branson, Missouri. It could be Bryant-Denny Stadium. Got a chance to take that in for the first time last season. Pretty cool. SEC venues are hard to top in college football. Landon Jackson had himself a whale of a day, and Arkansas unfortunately came up just short. We'll talk more about Arkansas's defense, more from Deke Adams, who's, again, been fantastic lately on the recruiting trail. But before we do that, want to jump on some of this Jim Harbaugh and Deion Sanders, so two of the more notable coaches in the sport and what's been going on with one's program and one's former program.
Love being in Branson this morning. We're at the Ballparks of America, right in the heart of Branson. It's the old Red Top Mall. If you haven't been here before, that's where you'll find it. Chairback seats for all these fields. I mean, how many times you go to a Little League game, to your 12 or 13 or 14-year-olds game, get to sit in a chairback seat? It's normally the old aluminum bleachers they roll out. So I'm right behind the Ballpark of America field that replicates or looks like Wrigley. They got the ivy out on the wall, and it's a great scene. They got ballparks that look like or emulate not just Chicago that's here, but St. Louis, Kansas City, Boston, and Brooklyn. So what a neat experience we'll be telling you more about here through the third hour. Guys, sometimes you just got to have a steak. I mean, we're men. Sometimes you just got to sit down and put fork and knife to a great piece of meat. And you can do that at Uncorked this weekend. They got they work specifically with Herzog Farms for premium prime beef that you'll find on the menu. There's a lot of great stuff on the menu, but that prime filet that's 16 ounces, or our prime filet that's 8 ounces, the prime ribeye that's 16 ounces, just can't be beat. Tender, delicious. You can get that compound butter to go with it. They got 3 house sauces you can choose to go along with it if you choose, but I don't think the meat needs anything. Choose the okra or the garlic truffle mashed potatoes or the grilled broccolini that you can have as one of the few side items that, they got several to choose from. You can choose a couple of those to go along with it. They normally, and they always do brunch on Saturdays on the weekend. They got a special Sunday brunch coming up on August the 25th at 10 a.m. You need to make your reservations right now at uncorkthefort.com for this weekend or for that special brunch on August 25th. It's Uncorked, one of our favorite places. Phoenix Avenue, next to Sody's in Fort Smith. That's at I-540 and the Lee Avenue exit. That's Uncorked. Make your reservations at uncorkthefort.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So anytime there are anonymous sources, anonymous players, anonymous coaches, I don't know if I'm 100% on board with whatever story. I know Athlon Sports for a number of years has taken anonymous quotes from SEC programs to give insight, give thoughts on other SEC programs. Well, recently, Athlon Sports published this report about what's going on within the Colorado football program. A former player calling it grand theft auto at sorts, fights, guns, money. Guys, sometimes things are exaggerated. Sometimes things are right on the money. Colorado goes 4-8 last season. Honestly, compared to where they were, it was pretty good up of success for Deion. I tend to think he's gone after Shadur Sanders leaves this next season. Y'all think there's truth to? I think there's some truth to this, but I think it might be over-exaggerated just quite a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not there, so I have no idea whether or not it's embellished. I would imagine it is. I don't view these. I question Athlon sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to be real honest about it. All these anonymous coaches say this and that. I don't believe for a second that stuff's legit. And so that kind of makes me wonder how legit this story is. Now, having said all that, the shine is wearing off for Deion at Colorado, and they need to have a good year this year, and I don't know if they will. I tend to agree that you have to question whether or not he's going to be there after his kids are gone. I'm a Deion fan. I like Deion, and I pull for Deion. But it's time to put up or shut up. I mean, it really is. And this is their year to either do that or not do it. And I think after this coming season, either Deion Sanders will continue to be a major player of sorts on the college football scene, or the star's going to fade really, really quickly.
They get Nebraska week 2. Him and Matt Rule have been kind of going back and forth a little bit, so I'm curious what happens in Lincoln there. I know he's talked about having control and wanting to stay in college, but for some reason, I could still see him jumping ship to the NFL, just depending on how this season goes, because you're accurate. The shine will wear off really quickly if they do not have a banner year, and I consider that, honestly, 8 or more wins this season.
See, I have a question about whether Deion's even going to be a coach 5 years
Yeah,
from
that's where I was going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think once his I'm beginning to wonder, and you kind of touched on it there, how much all this really has to do with his kids. And I just wonder if he's even going to be a coach in 5 years.
Yeah. If a lot of this gets fleshed out to have some validity to it, that I don't want to say makes him completely unhireable in the college ranks, but how many ADs are going to line up to take that risk? So, I mean, this isn't just a story that affects Colorado, but if Deion has aspirations of continuing to coach as an assistant or a head coach or anything else, and I really can't see him being an assistant at this point, this could be very damaging to his future prospects in this profession.
But I think this is a clickbait story.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff about guns and fights and thugs and all, that's a clickbait story, and it smacks of racism. I'll just say it. And I know some people don't like it when you say that, but it does. And it fits the narrative that a lot of people want for Deion. And it's just the truth. I don't know, though, if they're going to be able to win enough games. Just to be real honest about it, I don't know if they're going to be able to win enough games for him to keep his job. But I think all this stuff that's being said right now is BS. And just like I think all these stories about anonymous SEC coaches say this about a program, those you see in that publication, I think those are equally BS, if not more so.
Chuck, you don't think Deion Sanders is getting up in the locker room saying,
let's get ready to run? No, I don't think he's happening. No, I don't think that's happening.
I will say there's been a lot of fights lately, and this happens at camps. I haven't necessarily seen one being broadcasted from Arkansas, but there was the Appalachian State incident where you had a guy take his helmet, hit another player. DK Metcalf did something similar. Giants and Lions have been fined $200K each. Guys, not only is it kind of talking season, fall camp season, it's fighting season amongst practices in college and professional football, especially when you have the NFL incorporating practices with two different teams. They go at it a little bit this time of year.
One thing you can be guaranteed of during the month of August is you're going to see viral videos on fights at football practices. People may not understand one single thing that's going on out there on that practice field, but they understand a fight. And, nothing makes good video like a fight. So, yeah, I mean, but this is not unusual. This happens all the time.
Is it bad? I kind of like it. Am I a bad person for actually enjoying seeing not an everyday occurrence or every day in Fayetteville?
You like watching it.
Yes.
You like watching it.
Not necessarily partaking.
I think that's understood. But it's different reading about a fight at practice as opposed to seeing the video. And now you see video, and that's why these practices are closed. Because everybody's got a phone. If you got a phone, you got a camera.
Tommy, you're at a baseball field right now. Not to say that football fights and basketball fights and certain things getting out of hand aren't fun, but I just there's something special about clearing of the dugouts and a brawl happening near home plate. I think that is one of the coolest things in sports. Watching someone get beamed. The coaches they're just chirping one another. All of a sudden, you have that first swing. Like I remember Jason Varitek and A-Rod going at it a couple years back. I just think that is the bet. Not that hockey fights aren't awesome, but baseball clearing of the benches, there's nothing else like it. There's nothing else like it in sports.
We just celebrated the anniversary of Robin Ventura getting his face caved in by Nolan Ryan. That happened like 31 years ago, earlier this week or something like that. Mm-hmm. But, that's an iconic image in sports. But I don't know if it's the coolest thing ever, Ty, but it is part of the entertainment that we enjoy. I mean, that's why hockey's so popular with people that don't understand hockey. And they don't fight nearly enough in hockey anymore. But I don't know that we need more fighting. But in today's click world, like you're talking about, Chuck, all these things provide reason for us to click on it and watch it.
Yeah.
So somebody else can get paid.
I mean, that's why all this stuff gets noticed.
Yeah, it's sensationalized. We sensationalize too
I
much.
will say this though, and I just have to say it: All these people that talk about, oh, I love a good beaning, I love a good fight. You stand in there and take a 98 mile per hour fastball in the ear, Ty, and we'll see how much fun that is. I mean, I'm not. I understand what you're saying. I'm not, criticizing. I'm just saying that yes, what's entertaining for us is, sometimes a little bit different for the other guy.
And like for James McCann, who got pegged, and I think of two Razorbacks recently last month, Heston Kjerstad getting pegged. I mean, James, how he stayed in the game is beyond me. He's a tough cookie. Heston, we know it affected him quite a good chunk. So it's, again, the entertainment value's there, but there is aftermath.
Entertainment value is a good argument. Entertainment value is a manager kicking dirt on home plate, putting on a show, throwing his hat, maybe throwing a bucket of baseballs out on the field. That's entertainment.
Yeah.
Hitting a guy in the head with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball is not entertainment. That is not entertainment.
Dangerous.
We have to understand there's a very, very vast difference between the two. I hate that things like instant replay have taken a lot of the entertainment value out of baseball. But I don't find it necessarily entertaining when a guy gets drilled in the melon and you wonder about whether or not he's going to wake up. I mean, I just think we need to differentiate between the two.
No, there's no question about that. Now, speaking of
Chuck, remember years ago when the guys hawking the beers going up and down the steps at Busch Stadium were entertaining? They'd say all sorts of crass
Barney
and
the
crude things.
Bushman.
And,
I'm old enough to
God.
remember Barney the Bushman. If you're an old Cardinal fan, you know who I'm talking about.
Is that like Dick's Last Resort, where they try to be as mean to you as possible to get you to buy beer, basically?
They would say things that would get us fired to try to sell you a beer going up and down the aisles.
They were entertainers, man. They were working for tips.
Yeah. That was part of the entertainment of going to the ballpark. They had some of the best one-liners. No, you don't ever hear that stuff anymore, or I don't when I go to the ballpark. Everybody's too politically correct. But, man, they were – let's just say, Ty, that – and I think Chuck would agree – political correctness was not part of the equation with those beer vendors going up and down the steps at Busch Stadium, in the old Busch Stadium. So
the good old days, as many people
when you
like
could
it.
offend everybody and no one cared.
Titus texting in the entertainment he wants to see is me and Chuck wrestle on YouTube. I think we could sell that for a good chunk of change. Let's
get me in there.
Let's talk to Lane, who's in Cave City this morning. He's got a Cardinals question for Mr. Barrett. Lane, what's going on?
Not much, guys. I hope y'all's having a good morning. But, Mr. Chuck, I just wanted to ask, since you're Cardinals, probably the biggest Cardinals fan on the show, do you think we're going to be able to pull it off, make up this 2 games we're behind in the wild card and 6 games we're behind in the Central? And also I wanted to see what your feelings were on Helsley, our closer. I just don't trust him. After he blew the save in Chicago and nearly blew the save Tuesday night, and wasn't just that on last night either. I mean, we won both the games, but just kind of want to get one word. I'll hang up and listen to y'all. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, Helsley's a guy that I don't particularly trust. I mean, when he's good, he's really good. He's had a problem being available some over the course of his career. He's been a lot better in that area this year. I still don't particularly trust him in that role. I hear you, but he does have great stuff. I mean, he throws at 100 miles an hour pretty much every pitch. So, he's a guy that a lot of people think very highly of. I don't think this is a postseason team. They're kind of they're back and forth. They'll win 4 or 5, and then they'll lose 4 or 5. And I think basically they're about a 500 team, which is where they are for all intents and purposes right now. If they get hot and get into the wild card, I mean, you never know. But no, I don't have a lot of high degree, or I don't have a high degree of confidence in that. I think they'll finish somewhere around 500.
Chuck, I was telling Tommy earlier, he's in the presence of maybe some future major leaguers. You always see like these different, when they broadcast the Little League World Series or anything like that, you'll see these videos 10, 15 years later, and Maybe you might have a Cardinal or two that Tommy's getting to take in this weekend.
I'll bet there's a big leaguer somewhere in that group. I don't know if he'll be a Cardinal, but I'll bet there's a big leaguer in there somewhere.
Yep.
Hey, this
week
week
on the
Little
Little League World Series talk about that. How many former big leaguers are. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, Lee, Matt, and John answer common questions that they get as financial advisors, like how much money do I need before I retire? How should I invest? Should I get a credit card? And you can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com. Simple questions. Sometimes they lead to complicated answers, and that's why you need financial experts. And you can tune in to get your financial questions answered each and every week on the Mach 1 Market Moment. And I'll remind you that Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. And for full disclosures, you can visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Deke Adams has been an assistant here for the last couple years now. When you think about the guys that he just recently got committed, like Colton Yarborough, #1 player in the state of Oklahoma, 2026. Reginald Vaughn, 4-star defensive lineman from Mississippi in 25. Charleston Collins and Kavion Henderson, 2 4-stars in this last class. The class before was Quincy Rhodes. He's done a really good job, not just recruiting the high school ranks, but the transfer portal ranks. And he got asked about his kind of recruiting philosophy yesterday. Here's what he said.
Just being yourself. I mean, I kind of went through this process, and I talked to parents about it. I went through this process with my own son. I sat in rooms where I listened to coaches talk to my own kid, and I'm like, oh, no, that's not real right there. And it's about being real and being honest with the kids and being honest in the whole situation. We understand what we are as a program. We understand what we have to do. So nothing any other university tell a kid is they won't tell them anything that I haven't already told them. And so just being straight up with them and being honest and tell them what we are and being who the parents will want to drop their kid off with. And it's just been fun. It's been a great group of kids.
He referenced his son there. Chuck, he's got the unique perspective of his son, Jordan, baseball player, playing on the Angels and getting to go through that process. So not only does he experience it firsthand from his job, he watches it kind of secondhand from his son back in the day when he went through it.
Yeah, there are lots of coaches out there who go through that with their kids. I think about, when Rock was here and, Kumar was just a little boy, and then, Kumar ends up going to Vanderbilt and being a star. And I'm talking about Tracy Rocker. There are lots of coaches that, most of these guys were pretty good players, or at least, if you play at the collegiate level, you're a good player. I don't care if you're a star or not. You've got a lot of athleticism in your genes. And so these kids are very athletic, and then you combine the fact that a lot of these coaches are doing pretty well, and so they're able to provide a lot of opportunities for their kids too, and that combination certainly leads to a lot of coaches' kids having a chance to play at higher levels.
I mentioned the two young guys, the defensive line, Collins, Little Rock Mills, if I remember that correct, and then Henderson is from Alabama. I think Leeds, where Charles Barkley is from. With having an older group, and again, these guys not necessarily going to play a ton this season, but they can get more reps because the other guys know what they're doing.
When you get a young kid, a freshman that comes in, a lot of times they want to shy away and jump to the back of the line and let the older guys kind of take over. These two kids, man, they jump in the front of the line and they get in the middle of the older guys, and they're workers. They really work hard, and they have a lot of development to come along. They got to get stronger, obviously put on more weight, all that stuff that's got to happen. But the hunger to play the game and learn the system and be in the midst and not be shy being around older guys, they just one of the guys right now.
Chuck, I think what I've been impressed about him, it's one thing to get a 4-star in-state, but when you're going to Mississippi, Alabama, and some of these other bordering states, for him to be able to do that, I think has been the most impressive thing about Deke Adams and his recruiting prowess.
Well, he can go get them. He can go sign players, and if you're going to be a good coach in this era, you better be an equally good recruiter. It all is part of the package. You can be a great developer. You can be a great on-field guy, but you miss out on 2 or 3 recruits, and you'll be out of a job. And conversely, if you're a great recruiter and not so good on the field, you'll get a chance to become better on the field.
Hey, quick word for APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in northwest and north central Arkansas. If you're a licensed CDL driver, tired of being on the road all the time, want to be home at nights, if you're a heavy equipment operator with those skills, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, experience with concrete or asphalt, they have a great job available for you. Top pay, benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply today at jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is Phil Steele, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor. We promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by...
I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ty, when you start criticizing play callers for their game planning this fall, remember that even the best laid plan, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. I guess next year you're going to have a plan B, man. Every one of these trips you're planning, you're going to have some kind of plan B.
You know who always has a plan B? It's our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Now, the plan this month is to flip the lot down to the bare asphalt. They've been trying to do that for the first week or so here in August and continue it on in both, not just Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, but Rath Mitsubishi in Spring. All right, Larry, we're a week in. How is the project Flip the Lot going? How has it been implemented thus far?
It's going pretty good, Ty. We're selling a bunch of cars. We've got them all marked down. Got red tags in the windows. You can see how much it was and how much it is. Savings up to $6,000 right now on these clearance prices. The big inventory, road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. We've got a good inventory of them, and they've all got to go. That means we need your trades as well, and giving up to $2,000 extra for trades, too, and 90 days to your first payment. So we're kind of throwing everything we've got at it, making it easy for folks to get that nicer, newer car they've been waiting on at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. The new Mitsubishis, we've got a great lineup of those. If you haven't seen the Outlander, come in and give it a test drive, folks. It'll save you some money. It's got terrific warranty on it. Just a good-looking car, great-looking interior, all the latest safety tech, just a great vehicle at a great price. And if you come in and check it out, I think you're going to put it on your list. So come on in and check out this new Mitsubishi lineup at Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Take a look at all of these road-ready certified used cars that all have to go while we flip the lot. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
That's Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, like you said, and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Larry, enjoy the rest of your weekend, man, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one, and folks, come and see us.
Chuck, back to our beer conversation. Text from Austin and Fort Smith. My favorite beer guy of all time worked at the Pyramid in Memphis. It was before Bass Pro in the 90s and early 2000s during WWF and WWE. His go-to chant was ice cold for stone cold. It's funny how these guys have worked over the years. They find what fits their rhythm, and then they're part of the ballpark, like you were talking about with the old Busch Stadium.
Well, they're fun. They just make it fun. They make you smile. They make you laugh. That's part of what you want to do when you go to a game. You want to be entertained and have a good time. And they were part of the fabric. And look, a lot of them still are. I mean, I'm not going to make it sound like you go to a game now and, you know, all the vendors are saying, you know, buy my beer. And it's not like that. They still ham it up, have a good time. But and look, when we think back on how things were 20 or 30 years ago, in our minds, it's always better than it really was. I mean, if you want to get real honest about it. There are still entertainers out there, and maybe the guys we remember from childhood weren't quite as awesome as we thought they were, but it sure seemed like it back then.
Our memory is clouded a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Just to hinder a
But
little
we
bit.
sure remember the guys that made us laugh and have a good time at the ball game. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's always the good stuff. Well, Chuck, I don't know if you heard from Jim Harbaugh earlier this week, but he was pretty straightforward, and I don't know the audio per se, but he gave this story. My father taught me not to lie, cheat or steal, blah, 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 saying he wasn't a part of the Cotton or Stallions. Still given a punishment by the NCAA, not due to the Cotter Stallions Spygate type of thing. This was in something different. It was a 4-year show cause and a 1-year suspension. To me, it's not relevant because I don't think he's coming back to college football. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he doesn't have success in the NFL and in Los Angeles and comes back to the college ranks, but I don't know why they would even do this because it doesn't seem to affect him whatsoever.
Well, I think it's a matter of who controls the narrative. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, the narrative is he's never coming back to college football. Well, the reason for that is because he knows he's never going to be allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
He just got out ahead of the game a little bit. This is basically a situation again of who controls the way people talk about it from the get-go. And as you say, I mean, there is on one hand you can say, well, he's not coming back anyway. Well, the whole reason he's not coming back is because he knew this was coming. And so I don't know all the ins and outs of the Michigan situation. I follow it kind of like everybody else does. My sense is that all these guys are going to end up getting fired. I just sort of think by the time it's all said and done that there's going to be a lot more people that – I'm not saying they're going to get 4-year show causes and basically run out of college football. And some of it's going to have to do with the fact I don't think they're going to be great this year. But I got a feeling a year from now that Michigan football is going to look a lot different than it does today.
And that's going to be, one of the main pillars of the sport, but they finally got over the hump under Harbaugh, and I think most fans you tell me this, I think most fans are going to be happy if the next years are no longer the same as they were last year because you got that one national championship, and to be honest, Chuck, I think most fans would take that for a few middling years to get over the mountaintop at least once.
Well, it may be Ohio State replacing Michigan. They may be the team that is there at the end like Michigan was last year. I don't know. Neither one of them may be. But I just sort of think all this that's going on with Michigan, there's a lot more there, I suspect, than we even know about that's been uncovered. I'll say this. The NCAA, in a lot of people's eyes, has no teeth when they investigate. And there's a good reason for that argument. And I say that because if the NCAA feels like they got enough evidence to suspend you for a year and give you a 4-year show cause, basically run you out of college football, they feel like they've got the goods on you. And it sure sounds like they do.
Yep. Sounds like in this case. Speaking of teeth, you're going to need your teeth today if you want to tackle a Hardee's Monster Burger. 150 seconds or less. We're at the Phoenix Avenue location again. 11 guys have already qualified for the 19th annual Football Trip of Lifetime contest. If you want to be number 12 or 13, 14, 15, you got to come by and see me today from 11 to 1, Hardee's, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Shop local, eat local, be local. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them face web gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere, the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So apparently, Lane Kiffin is getting sued, I think this is for the second time, due to copyright infringement from Dr. Keith Bell. This story comes from the Clarion or Ledger. Apparently, Coach Kiffin posted an excerpt of his stories, couple pages from his book back in 2016. Got asked to remove it, did that. Did so again in 2022. Tommy did not remove it, and now it looks like that he's getting sued for copyright infringement. Of all things that Lane Kiffin gets maybe knocked for, I did not anticipate copyright infringement being one of them.
And I don't know anything about this other than what you've just told us, but I wonder what the damages are. I mean, did Lane Kiffin claim this work to be his own? How did this harm the plaintiff here? That would be my interest. Is okay, sir. What were your damages?
I bet that he got more attention paid to his book based on that. But I don't know. Maybe that's above my pay grade.
I'm not really that curious, and I'm somewhat intrigued. But what were how were you harmed in all this?
I know you follow the TikTok ways, Tommy. Apparently, Jackson Tart, Ole Miss starting quarterback, was exposed for allegedly cheating by his longtime girlfriend the past couple days. So that has been a big Ole Miss and SEC stories. You never know the intel you find on TikTok, and apparently that's a thing that just recently became a thing.
I've got TikTok, and it's only because everyone else in my house has it, and they like to send me clips and videos. I couldn't tell you how to function. So if someone in my house is doing something kind of shady, I wouldn't even know how to go find it and research it. So
it's probably for the best.
Hopefully they're behaving.
Last thing, Texas running back, expected starter C.J. Baxter is out for the season. Tore his LCL and PCL, 6 to 9 month recovery time. He was one of the only top 5 yard returners from last year's team. Had, I think, over 800 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns last year. He will not be playing this season. Again, Texas, and this maybe goes to some of the things we've been talking about that I've just blissfully ignored. They don't return a single one of their top 5 yardage people from last year. So, again, I'm high on Quinn Ewers. I don't want to be high on Quinn Ewers, but I am. Maybe I'm overlooking some defensive linemen they lost, some offensive skill weapons they've lost, and maybe they won't be as good as I think they're going to be this year, I would be happy if I was wrong about the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, when we were looking at running backs and quarterbacks the first 2 weeks of the Pradco Pyramid of Power, we brought up the loss of production in skill spots. So that is accurate, but it also means there's a lot of opportunity there as well.
All right, that is your SEC update this morning, Tommy.
And it's brought to you by our friends at Josh and our friends at MD Hair Labs right here in Northwest Arkansas. TRT. Maybe you've seen that somewhere online or on social media. MD Hair Labs and Vitality Center, they've got you covered with testosterone replacement therapy. If you haven't felt like yourself, if you're getting over 30, maybe you've got low energy, maybe it's all due to low testosterone. They offer different and flexible options to deal with and treat low testosterone. Weekly in-clinic injections is one way. Convenient at-home prescriptions is another. Or they're super easy. And I know some guys that have done this. The TRT pellet program, it only requires you to come in and deal with the replenishment of that every 4 to 6 months, and it's very, very effective. Right now, MD Hair Labs and Vitality is offering free consultations and on-site testosterone test. It's just $49, and it's the perfect time to check your levels and to see if TRT is right for you. So go to mdhairlabs.com. That's mdhairlabs.com. Schedule your free consultation and get started. Just $49 and feel yourself again with MD Hair Lab and Vitality at mdhairlabs.com.
Tommy, I was reading this story. 27% of Americans feel that they are becoming their parents. Traits, habits, various things. Do you feel strongly that after watching your dad disciple you and father you and being the same, do you feel like you have become your father? Because I have with the house. I'm very stingy on the way that the air conditioning runs and various other expenses that I used to shake my head at my dad at, but I'm definitely becoming my father in that sense.
Oh, I think we all find the wisdom of our parents' ways as we get older. But you said the word that my dad discipled me. Let me be very clear. He was Old Testament. He was not New Testament. So if there was going to be any shepherding, he was going to do it Old Testament style at our compound. So yeah, with lashings were part of the daily routine at times. But yeah, is it Progressive Insurance? Who does those? Commercials that kind of make fun of people becoming their parents. I love those commercials.
Yeah,
I think they're some of the best on TV, but where you're doing old people things and you don't even realize it. But no, I think as you get older, you do become a little more product of those that reared you. Absolutely.
What about you, Big C? Think you're becoming more like Carl each and every day as you journey through life?
In some ways, yeah. Just not, kind of keeps to myself, but he's a little more outgoing than me. I will say that.
I got you.
I haven't quite picked up that from him.
Gotcha. All right. Guys, as we close out the show, I want to come back to Deke Adams a little bit. Again, Arkansas defensive line coach that had some things to say yesterday. Him, Eric Gregory, Nico Davier. Tommy got a chance to ref for him when he was at high school at Mall Mel, and then also Landon Jackson.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he could play a little bit. One of the guys that was also there was Eric Gregory. And this guy, I mentioned this earlier, 6-year kid, all at one school here in Fayetteville, not talked about as much as, say, Landon and some other guys, but big part of this football team. Here's his position coach.
He's so valuable because he does so much. I mean, he can play both inside positions. He can play outside. I mean, he did that early in his career. And I kind of agree with you. He's very, very underrated, but he does a really, really good job. He's such a humble kid. That stuff doesn't bother him. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't ask questions about it. It's not even an issue with him. He just shows up and he works every day. It's been great. I love having him back. I want him back. It's kind of a joke in the room. Coach Pitt might bring up when he first got here and things like that. He asked guys to raise their hand who was here when we first got here and all that. And he might be one of maybe 2 or 3 that's in the room that it was actually here when he first got here. But Eric is such a mature kid, and he's very, very quiet, doesn't say a whole lot. He just works.
Think about that. Eric Gregory has been on campus more than your head football coach has. Tommy, that kind of put in perspective when Adam shared that with us yesterday.
Well, and particularly in today's transfer portal world, the nature of the transient player is far more common. So, portal and NIL have really led rosters to have very few people that have been there 4 or 5 years. So, that would be a small group, and probably like Deke was saying there, one you could count on one hand. Yeah. Maybe have fingers left over.
They lose Anthony Booker, Torian Carter, and Jashad Stewart from last year's team. There might have been one other, but I think those are the main 3. But most of their returners are back. They added some good 4-star guys like Charlie Collins, and also I mentioned this kid at Leeds, Alabama, Kavion Henderson. And you're just hoping that these guys can continue on the success. Because, Tommy, I know they gave up points big to Missouri and Auburn at home. But you look at their road performances, man, that defensive line was making it tough on some pretty premier quarterbacks in this league. Hopefully they can do the same when a lot of those QBs come into Fayetteville this next year.
Got to disrupt things. Got to hit that quarterback on the other side. That's how you win football games. is you disrupt the opponent by hitting their quarterback. And if you can't get to them, you give them a comfort zone back there. And there's too many good passers in this league. And I think quarterbacks are going to be interesting to watch in this league this year. There's not really one that stands out. I mean, I know you're kind of big on yours. People talk, Texas a lot. Carson Beck's going to get a lot of conversation, but and I know they're going to be in the Heisman conversation, but there's not one at quarterback this year. You say, there's first team All-American right there, and it's not close. There's nothing anything similar to that, I believe, in the SEC.
Oh, I would agree.
And how they handle pressure and how Arkansas can put pressure on that. And I think when you look up and down the Arkansas roster, wouldn't you say that maybe Quinn Ewers might be the best quarterback Arkansas is going to face this year.
Yep, you've got some guys. You don't have to worry about Jalen Milroe. Don't have to worry about Carson Beck, as you alluded to. So it's nice that you avoid a couple, but still some good ones that you play here in Fayetteville and also on the road, too. I think Peyton Thorne's going to be a lot better at Auburn, to be honest. You play Alan Bowman, 7-year kid.
Couldn't be any worse.
And then, he looked like a Heisman Trophy winner against Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Well,
ripped them up.
A lot of people did, but he was, they ended up same record as the Razorbacks, right?
4-8.
Maybe that, yeah.
I thought they made a bowl game, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, they did not have. I know. I want to say this is a put up or shut up year for our man Hugh Freeze, but in another season of not making a bowl, and the heat's going to get turned up. Hey, summertime means pond and creek fishing. Nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with a light spinning rod and reel. Use 4 or 6 pound fishing line, and the Rebel Crick Hopper will help you land those bass and bluegill you're going for this weekend. Find the Rebel Crick Hopper at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. It's the Rebel Crick Hopper.
So you're in Branson this morning, Ballpark of America, Chicago Field. It's an incredible complex. Tommy, you said it's where an old mall used to be in Branson. I think a lot of people are familiar with.
The Red Top Mall, it used to be here, and they've repurposed the facility, and you can't even tell this. I mean, it looks like some old mall, but this thing is perfectly set up for what they're trying to accomplish. The 12 and under Cal Ripken that's here has got 39 teams here at this one. Then they got the other location across town for the Babe Ruth 16 and under with 20 teams. So there's 59 teams from around the world in the Branson area that are here. We're talking the Bahamas, Australia, Aruba, Canada is here, Japan, Taiwan. There's teams from here at home, Paragould, Arkansas, Branson, Missouri. There's another team from Missouri in the Babe Ruth that's here as well. So truly an international event going on here in Branson. Admission is really affordable. Parking is plentiful. So if you're coming to Branson this weekend, maybe to do some back-to-school shopping, come over to the Ballparks of America and take in some great World Series action with the Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken World Series.
That's going to do it for us here on a Too Stupid Thursday. Again, Hog football scrimmage gets underway. I forget what time it is today, but today's the first one, Pat. They're trying to prepare for that Thursday night game in Little Rock, which exactly 21 days from now, you'll take on the UAPB Golden Lions. We'll have a good set of shows that day to lead you up to it with Arkansas Game Day. And Hog Reaction, Tommy, right around the corner. It's one of our favorite parts of the year is doing post-game shows with Arkansas football.
Yeah. Missed any of today's shows or any of those interviews with Deke Adams and the players, go to hitthatline.com, catch those there, or download, the Hit That Line Now app, and always stay in touch and in tune with Hit That Line and ESPN Arkansas.
All right, that's going to do it for us live from Branson. Have a good rest of your Thursday, everybody.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some